it takes a metal man to throw it down with the Man of Steel. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we will explore the comic book origins of John Corbin, otherwise known as Metallo.
Metallo. In the flesh.
As with most comic book characters, there are often reimaginings and different versions to a character's past. We've chosen to primarily follow the storyline that unfolded in 1959's Action Comics number 252. A character dating back to 1942, he was originally introduced under his Golden Age incarnation, spelled with only one L. In this version, he was a scientist turned criminal named George Grant. Having created a robotic suit of armor and a super strength serum, naturally, he was ultimately defeated by Superman. Following this, the character was completely reinvented for the Silver Age. Reintroduced as journalist John Corbin, he was a man who moonlighted as a thief. Having been found out, he killed an embezzler, believing himself to have committed the perfect crime. However, Corbin then lost control of his car while fleeing the scene and careened off a cliff. Found by an elderly scientist, he recognized that Corbin's body was beyond repair. Taking Corbin back to his lab, the professor went ahead with replacing all of his body parts with metallic ones. When Corbin finally awoke from his coma, he was told that he had been given an indestructible all-metal body fully covered in rubber skin, while retaining only his organic brain. It was also explained that uranium powered his new synthetic heart, and that each uranium capsule would only last a single day. Before the scientist could tell him about the alternate long-term power source, a rock slide crashed into the house, causing the professor to have a stroke. Leaving the surviving professor behind, Corbin quickly realized the extent of his new super strength.
Hit that, please. Satisfied?
The very next day, Corbin began working for the Daily Planet. Meeting the news team, Clark Kent was surprised by Corbin's iron grip and pretended to be harmed, as to avoid suspicion of his Superman identity. After immediately trying to romance Lois Lane, Corbin realized that he was dangerously low on fuel. While a distress call led Superman away to help a nuclear submarine, Corbin decided to raid the Metropolis Research Lab to refuel. After breaking into the vault, he decided to conduct several other raids to stockpile the element, before news got out that uranium was being systematically stolen. In the aftermath, the media aptly concluded that no human could have conducted the crime, and thus jumped to the logical conclusion that it must be the work of an indestructible robot, which they nicknamed Metallo. Later, when Corbin ran into Lois Lane, he got between her and a mob attempt on her life, inadvertently deflecting their bullets. With Lois naturally assuming that he was then Superman, she professed her love for him. Corbin then decided to raid the fort where the remaining uranium was moved, albeit with his mustache shaved off and wearing a replica Superman costume. Escaping with his prize as the real Superman arrived, the true hero used his super breath to blow the uranium out of the getaway car. But, once again, before Superman could apprehend the villain, he was distracted by a sudden emergency nearby. Escaping, Metallo re-emerged at the professor's lab, asking about the secondary power source that the doctor had mentioned earlier. Given a small sample of kryptonite, he decided to use it to set a death trap for Superman, using that to help him collect a greater portion of the precious substance from an exhibit hall. While Superman fell into the trap, which he easily overcame, Metallo stole his prize. Turning out to be a fake prop, he died when he arrived at Lois's apartment, hoping to woo her with his Superman costume. In the years that followed, Metallo has been reintroduced to the Superman series, most prominently as a soldier who was part of a military experiment. He also finally attained a kryptonite core, gaining the ability to emit kryptonite radiation from his chest, becoming one of Superman's deadliest foes.
What's the matter, Kai? You're looking a little green at the gills.
While the character continues to feature in the comics, he's also appeared in various media, including both live action and cartoon appearances.
A fraud! There's the reality. The metal behind the man. It's all I am now. It's who I am. Metallo.
Are you a fan of this kryptonite-fueled supervillain? For more uranium-powered comic book origins, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.